everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. Last week we had a very familiar deck builder on the channel as we played Star Realms. This week we're going to revisit another familiar game on the channel as we play Star Wars Outer Rim using the expansion Unfinished Business from Fantasy Flight. I played this game on the channel back in October, link to which will be in the description down below, but that was back before the expansion. The expansion, Unfinished Business, link to my unboxing of which will also be in the description down below, adds more characters, more cards, and most importantly, the core worlds. Most of their function, as we'll hopefully see in this playthrough, is to give us a quick way to get across the gap, to get across the board. And then we also have new encounter tokens, which we'll see throughout the game. Once again, our goal in this game is to become the most famous pilot in the galaxy, whether that's through combat, trade, or delivering cargo. In the first playthrough we did of this on the channel, we played to 6 fame because I wasn't sure how everything would work with the recording. Now that I have a better idea for the game, I think I feel comfortable going up to the normal of 10 fame. Fantasy Flight suggests 8 for first timers and 12 for a more epic experience, but I think 10 will be plenty for an epic experience, and it will also give us a very competitive game. Anyway, let's work our way to the board, and we'll stop off first with today's AI opponent. Today the AI opponent is Lando Calrissian. He was Han Solo's best buddy in the, started off as best buddies in the Star Wars movies, but anyway, there's his standee, I should say. He'll start off with 6,000 credits being the AI. We don't need to worry about his abilities in terms of the special ability and the personal goal. But the one thing we do need to worry about is the card he starts with is card 91, and I'll use that to help me determine what faction he's going to start plus reputation with. So, we start off with a cargo trying to get him to the, the Spinward Core, and he starts on Naboo. So I'll point that out when we get to the board. I think this one I'm going to have to use the... I think we should be able to stand the standees up. I'll have to look at that a little bit more closely when we take our first look at the board. But he will get 5,000 credits when he delivers this cargo to the Spinward Core, which is way across the board. But anyway, more on that when we take a quick look at the board. But anyway, the Automa will be taking its turns through the AI deck. And one thing I really like that Unfinished Business gave us was it gave us a unique... Well, it gave the AI 2 things. It gave us a new Bounty Hunter deck, so now we can play with characters like Boba Fett, who else? Bosk, IG-88, and the other bounty hunters in the galaxy. But it also gave each character a unique card. So there's a card that you can shuffle in there. So depending on which character you play with, you shuffle their distinct card into the AI deck, which I've done that with Lando. But anyway, that will do it for Lando. Now let's go take a look at who we're playing. Before we move up and meet my character today, we need to decide what reputation Lando is going to start plus reputation with. I think for the flavor win, we're going to start him plus Rebel reputation, because he ended up aligned with the Rebel Alliance in the course of the movies, so we'll go with the flavor win there. But anyway, now that will do it for Lando. Now let's go meet who I'm playing. Oh, one other thing I need to go through. The AI always starts off with a G9 Rigger. So you can see on here, I'll bring it up a little bit closer so you can see. The starting ships have a slot for cargo, a mod, and a crew on them. Then the player also will take a look at quick look at the ship stats. Ship speed of 6, 2 combat if we ever fight a space combat, and the ship can take up to 3 hits. So the AI will never fulfill ship or personal goals. And then just to point out over here, we've got 2 spaces on the player boards for gear, 2 spaces for jobs or bounties, which we'll be dealing with throughout the market deck. But anyway, now that will do it for Lando. Now let's go meet who we're playing today. Against a non-bounty hunter, we have a bounty hunter. And today we are playing one of the new characters from Unfinished Business. We're playing the bounty hunter, Dengar. So his character stats... He gets 3 dice on ground combat. Lando would get 2, and they both can take up to 4 hits. His special ability, When you win a combat... Actually, let me get over here so I can see if the light from behind my on the left hits it a little better. When you win a combat, you suffer 2 fewer damage and your opponent suffers 1 additional damage. Ooh. Then personal goal. Fight a combat against a player in your space who has 2 or more fame. If you win, gain 1 fame and flip this card. And then we start with card 90. So we start off with... starting planet Cantonica, and our starting bounty is the Black Sun Agent. So on an elimination reward, we can gain 5,000 credits and 1 fame. If we capture him... which will mean deliver him to wherever destination he needs to go to. Deliver Black Sun Agent's token to Ryloth to gain 10,000 credits and a fame. After you gain a reward from this card, remove it from the game. He will roll 2 dice on the bounty. And then Dengar will move to Cantonica, which I'll point that out when we go over to the board. But anyway... So we're starting off with no reputation with any of the factions, as you can see over there. We'll push that up now that we've got the starting bounty all set up. Then I start with 4,000 credits as being the first turn. The AI will start with 6. And then like the AI, we're starting with the G9 Rigger as well. So anyway, that's everything for both characters set up. So let's move over to the board and take our first look. Yes, as you can probably hear in the background, I do have the air conditioner running because it's already fairly warm and humid this morning. But anyway, so taking a look at our board, here's Lando down here at Naboo. He's trying to get down to the Spinward core, so he's got to cross the board. Dengar, I'm starting over here in Cantonica. You might also notice, if you can look closely at it, that all of the core game planets have a new orange contact token on them. That is another feature of Unfinished Business. So that's an additional contact token that we can encounter, and there are additional cards in the codex for them. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Also, it's a little bit annoying, and you might have a hard time seeing it in shot, but the patrols actually now start sharing a space, thanks to the core world. So we've got the Hutts and the Imperials over on this side of the board, and then over here, on this side of the board, we've got the Rebels and the Syndicate. We're sharing a space, and those patrols move around depending on what card we buy from the market decks, which we need the top card of each of these revealed. So, starting off on the top of the bounty deck, we have, oh boy, Jyn Erso. So, just to explain everything how it works, when you buy a card, the next one determines what happens. So in this case, the Rebel Patrol would move 3 spaces toward us, and then this would force us to reveal a contact token on our planet. If all the contact tokens are revealed or otherwise off the board, we would pick which contact token we reveal throughout the board. But anyway, elimination reward, gain 9,000 credits and 2 fame, or for a capture, deliver her to the trailing core, which is way down over here, to gain 18,000 credits, 2 fame, and an Imperial reputation. And then, of course, the bounties all have the after gaining a reward from this card, yada, yada, yada. Then on the expensive stuff deck, we have a custom paint job. Costs 10,000 credits to get it. After you fight a ship combat, if you're not defeated, rotate this card. So, similar to the tarot cards in Arkham Horror, the card game, you now have an option to flip these cards. And if we flip this, we have an additional fame. If we're defeated by damage to the ship, rotate this card. A player in your space can fight a ship combat against you as their encounter. Cargo. Coruscant Passenger. Doesn't cost anything to pick up. You can't buy this at the Spinward core, but your destination is to get it there. As a reward, gain 6,000 credits, and you may move directly to the that's the trailing course. That's a direct way across the board. That might be tempting for a first pickup. Then on the mod deck, 5,000 credits as a weapon. After you roll dice during ground combat, wrist rocket. After you roll dice during a ground combat, you may rotate this dice to add 2 successes. Then a wrist rocket launcher. As an action, you have to spend 1,000 credits to rotate this card, so you have to reload the rocket launcher. Anyway, our first job. Wait a minute. Okay, hang on. I actually forgot. I need to remove some of the cards from some of these decks, which I forgot about that the first time I played this too, but we'll have to wrap that up a little bit when we're playing a solo game. And this is one of the cards I need to remove. Okay, so during setup, remove. Honest robbery, sail barge, sabotage, snatch and grab, and disable comms network. So basically, what I'm doing there is I'm removing cards from the deck that require me to interact with another player, since we're playing solo. Then I need to remove card 11 from the Ring of Kafrini Takodana deck, which I'll do that in a minute, but first we'll flip over the top card of the job deck. And now that we've not been a derp and remembered to take those cards out before they came up, we'll find Rescue from the Mines. I'll go through the flavor text on that. But we can't buy this on Kessel, but our destination is Kessel. As a reward, we lose 1 syndicate reputation and gain 8,000 credits into fame. If we resolve card 50, then we remove that from the game. So I'll get those out of the way. And then I'll take card 11 from the Ring of Kafrini Takodana deck. There we go. And where is it? 16, 10. Ah, here we go. Why? Oh, ask the player to your left. Never mind. Okay. Right. Another card that requires you to have multiple players in the game to use it. Which obviously we do not. So, minor detail is all handled. Give that a cut. Alright, and then the top of the ship deck we find Rogue Class Porax 38 Starfighter for 5,000 credits. Ship, gain this ship's sheet and remove this card from the game. Still space for cargo, 1 cargo or mod, 1 gear or mod, 1 job or bounty, and 6 speed, 4 dice on ship combat, 4 hits on how many it can take. But anyway, that will do it for the initial setup. I think this looks fine. We can leave the standees standing up. But anyway, that will do it for initial setup. I think we're ready to get started. So we'll start off with Dengar, and his planning step will keep us right here at the board. Alright, so Dengar is not going to have a long way to go on his planning step, which on your planning step you can do one of 3 things. You can move up to your ship's speed, gain 2,000 credits, or recover all damage, and this is required if you're defeated. So, what we're going to do is for his planning step, we're going to move him 2 to Ord Mantell. I'm going to leave the mod deck as is. It's tempting to cycle that right now, but I don't really need that right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Coruscant Passenger. That way in case my white token encounter ends up not being... That way in case my white contact token ends up not being the Black Sun agent... actually... Oh yeah, I can buy this. Never mind. That way, if the white contact token ends up not being the Black Sun agent, I have a quick way to get across the board. Of course, I could move to Lothal and try again, but either way, this gives me a quick way across the board whenever I'm ready for it. But anyway, then we flip up a new cargo we find. The Huts move 3. Okay, we find unrefined coaxium. Cannot buy on Mon Calamari. Destination is Mon Calamari. Reward, gain 5,000 credits and rotate this card instead of discovering it. And then when we rotate it, we find coaxium crystal. Destination of Takodana, so across the board. And then reward, gain 12,000 credits. But more importantly, the Huts move 3 spaces toward me, and then I reveal a contact token. So I'm doing this off shot, but the Huts are going to move 3 spaces toward me. So 1, 2, 3, stopping at the Ring of Kafrini. And I'll point that out when we move back over to Lando. And then I do get to reveal a contact token. So I'm going to reveal... I'm actually going to reveal the white contact token, so I was planning on doing that anyway. That way, if it's not who I want, I have options where I can go either to Lothal and work my way to Mon Calamari if I can get that cargo, or potentially getting across the core worlds to keep looking. But anyway, the white contact token here is Ponda Baba. So not our bounty, obviously, which means the Coruscant passenger is going to turn out to be highly useful insurance, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So we bought off the action step. You can trade with another player in your space, but there won't be any trading in an AI game. Or you can deliver cargo and bounties. Now we move into the encounter step, and now that I know the white token on Ord Mantell is not Ponda Baba, I'm actually going to encounter Ord Mantell. So we'll grab a... This is going to be interesting. I'm going to pull the... I'm going to have to reach across the camera for a second here to grab the token, to grab the decks. I'll clean that up just a little bit. And then we'll find Ord Mantell. That goes with Cantonica. Here we go. Ord Mantell. So in a similar style to the Fantasy Flight games, you can get an idea of what to expect from encounters on each planet. In this case, it's on the back of the card rather than on the board in the Arkham Files games. You can potentially get a chance of gambling or crew on Cantonica, or gear and credits on Ord Mantell. In this case, we're encountering Ord Mantell, so let's have a look. Alright. Let's see. Ord Mantell. The Toydarian junk dealer hands you a small metal device. I can't make you invisible, but I've got the next best thing. You may spend 1,000 credits to gain the gear below. Let's take a look. So we've got smoke grenades. During a ground combat, you may discard this card. If you do, you do not suffer damage during the suffer damage step of this combat. Well, remembering that Dengar, when he wins a combat, he suffers 2 fewer damage and his opponent suffers 1 more. I think we're going to pass on that because we don't suffer a lot of damage as it is from ground combat. So I'm not too terribly broken up about that. But anyway, that will do it for Dengar. Now we'll move over to Lando. We'll bring the camera over. And as I promised, there's the Hut Patrol that's moved 3 spaces toward Dengar. Remember, they started sharing a space here. But anyway, we'll get a card from the AI deck. I suspect we'll have to zoom out a bit to capture more of the destination. So we'll find AI player turn. So planning step, do the first that applies. If defeated, recover all damage. They weren't defeated. Move toward closest goal. The closest goal right now is the Spinward Core, and he's got a ship speed of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So what actually happens is the AI can potentially stop If the AI's last spaces are if any of the AI's last 3 spaces are a planet, then the AI gets pulled back to stop on the planet so they can do the rest of their turn. In this case, we actually catch a break because Lando ends up stuck on... Because Lando actually ends up stuck on a nav point. So we go to the action... So we basically skip right through the action step. Because the action step would require us to be on a planet, but the AI isn't. If at a cargo destination, deliver it. Buy a job and place a gold token on that card's destination, except there's nothing... except a nav point. And counter step, there's nothing to do for them either. Do the first that applies. If negative reputation matching a patrol in this space, encounter that patrol. There's no patrol there. Spend 8,000 credits to gain a fame. The AI only has 6. And reveal the face-down contact token of the lowest class on this planet and gain the crew on its card for free. So nothing it's able to do there either because it's stuck on a nav point. But anyway, that will do it for Lando. That will do it for round 1. So we'll move back to Dengar and move into round 2. Dengar is going to move 1 space over to Lothal. I'm going to still plan on grabbing this cargo from Mon Calamari, but now I am going to start doing a little bit of cycling. So I'm going to start off by cycling the mod deck. Unfinished Business also changed cycling slightly in that now you can cycle for 2 cards before you buy, for up to 2 cards before you buy. So I'm going to cycle the Wrist Rocket away and see what we find on top. We find a shield upgrade for 3,000 credits, which gives you +1 fame, or not +1 fame, I wish. +1 ship defense, and on an action recover 1 damage from your ship. I'm also going to cycle that though, and I'm going to find Quad Laser Cannon for 2,000 credits, which gives me +1 ship combat. I think I will take that for 2,000 credits actually, especially if I think I'm going to be fighting a decent amount of combat. Also to kind of try to keep the deck moving a little bit, so we'll put that on Dengar's ship. And then we'll find the next card off the top of the mod deck. We find ooh, I might try to grab this next turn. The DL-44 Heavy Blaster Pistol. So the Syndicate moves 3 spaces toward me. Alright, so they take the shortest path. But they stop on... Actually, so, yeah. 1, 2, 3. They stop at the nav point between Ord Mantell and Cantonica, which means I can't go any further. But anyway, now we go into the encounter step, and I'll encounter the white token. So here we'll find Garandon on card 10 from the Codex. So all of these cards are in numerical order. There's 10. And we'll find out what's on the back of this card. Garandon. The Kubaz regularly sells information to the Empire, but he'll work for you if the price is right. If you have negative Imperial or positive Rebel reputation, test Stealth. If you fail, move the Imperial Patrol directly to your space and encounter it, except I have neither reputation right now. If you pass or did not perform the test, you may spend 2,000 credits to gain the crew below and discard Garandon's token. As an action, spend 1,000 credits to secretly look at a contact token on any planet. Being able to set up my encounters would be immensely useful. So I do have 1,000 credits, so I think I will grab him. So that means I'll pick up his character token as well. So now I have another skill on my character. I'll explain more about how the skills, as it doesn't want to focus. Come on. There we go. So you might be able to see at the bottom of the card how it has knowledge on there. When a skill test actually comes up, I'll explain more about how those work. I'm surprised we haven't had a skill test yet this game, but anyway. Now we have an option to spend 1,000 credits during the action step to secretly look at a contact token on any planet. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. Lando, as we move back over, I'm going to move over to this side because Lando's moving in this general direction. But anyway, Lando's card for the turn. Another AI player turn, so he moves. So once again, he does the first thing that applies, which is moving toward his closest goal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which actually lets him stop on Mon Calamari, and I've got to move the camera just slightly so you can see him. We're actually getting close to Dengar now. Alright, and he is not... Alright, so going into the action step, come on. Zoom this out just a little bit. There we go. Action step, do all that apply. If a cargo destination deliver it, which he's not. If the cargo is illegal, lose 1 reputation, and with this planet's faction, if any, which he's not. If all cargo slots are full, which they are, buy a mod, so that's letting the pistol go by, that's going to hurt. But that's 3,000 credits. But I know there's also some pretty good ground weapons, and I'm short on credits at the moment, so that's kind of helpful. But anyway, let's see what we flip over for a new mod. We flip over. Plastoid armor, which might be even better, actually. Gain +2 shields. During ground combat, if you have strength, your opponent rolls 1 fewer die. Limit 1 armor per character, and I kind of want to try to get this, but it's going to be a little while. But the more important part is the Imperial Patrol moves 4 spaces toward Lando. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, stopping on a space with the Syndicate. Yeah, 1, 2, wait. 4 spaces. Actually, no, they don't stop with the Syndicate. They move 1 further. 1, 2, 3, yeah. 1 space further. Okay, now that we got that straight, coming back here, I don't think anything for the encounter step applies. If negative reputation, matching a patrol in this space, encounter the patrol. If at a job destination, complete it. Or spend 8,000 credits to gain fame. Okay, nothing there applies. Anyway, that will do it for Lando. That will do it for round 2. We're into round 3 now, and let's go into Dengar's turn. Now that there are no more white contact tokens on this side of the board, and I'm kind of short on credits right now, it would not be a terrible idea for me to start working my way over to the other side of the board. And the Coruscant Passenger gives me a very quick way across the board. Unfortunately, we do have the Syndicate Patrol right in the way here, but we're rolling even with them. So I think we're still going to take a chance on it. So I'm going to move 1 to Ord Mantell, 2 to this nav point with the Syndicate Patrol, and I have to stop. But I have the choice during the encounter phase to fight them. So, what I'm going to do first, during the action phase, I'm actually going to spend 1,000 credits to start looking on the other side of the board. And with the AI, I'm probably okay revealing some of these tokens, just to help me kind of plan out my turns. Especially since I'm the only player. Rules as written, you're probably supposed to just secretly look at them. But again, this is an AI game, so it's probably okay for me to just reveal them. So I'm looking at the white contact token on, what planet is that? The Ring of Kafrini. Alright, so we find Lobot, so we're not looking for him particularly. But anyway, that's the end of the action step because I can't do anything planet related. So now I'll fight the ship combat. So the way that will work is for that. So as long as I do enough damage, the ship will get destroyed. So we'll bring the dice tower Where do I want this dice tower? I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put this. That will kind of work. It's a little imposing, but I think I can deal with it. So anyway, I'm going to roll the attacker's 3 dice first. The tie will go to the attacker on these encounters. And I roll a total of 2 successes, or 2 hits, and then we roll the patrol's dice. So just to recall what the dice look like, I kind of breezed through that. Blanks are generally nothing. Eyeballs are usually nothing, but they'll be relevant on skill tests. That's a regular success for 1. And where is this? The open sunburst. Where is it? Eyeball. Here we go. That translates as 2 successes. So right now, I have 2 successes on this ship combat. And they roll 1. Okay. So that actually worked out pretty nicely for me. So, the Syndicate Patrol gets destroyed. Remember, I suffer, when I win a combat, and it doesn't have to be a ground combat necessarily, so I suffer 1 fewer damage. I would have suffered 1 damage, except I don't suffer anything. I get 5,000 credits for destroying the patrol, which I very much needed, but that also brings out the level 2 Syndicate Patrol and bumps me down to negative reputation with the Syndicate. So looking at the level 2 patrol, we see that it's a stronger patrol, but you get a fame point if you manage to destroy it. So it'll come out on the starting space on the board. So now that's something I need to be careful for. But anyway, that will do it for Dengar's turn. We'll move back up to Lando. Actually, we've got Lando, and I think his goal in shot. Yes. Alright, so the AI turn for Lando. There's another regular turn. So, if defeated, recover all damage, move toward closest goal. So that's a speed of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gets stopped at the nav point because the last spaces it moved through were all nav points. It doesn't do anything in the action step. And encounter step also is inapplicable because it doesn't have, because the AI doesn't have enough credits. Okay. So that was another quick turn for the AI. So we're on to round 4 next, and let's go back to Dengar's turn. Alright, during the planning step for Dengar's turn, I'm actually going to be able to move to the Spinward Core, which is where I'm trying to go. So 1, 2, 3. That's my planning step. For my action step, I'm going to deliver the Coruscant passenger to the Spinward Core, which, as we recall, gives me 6,000 credits, and I may move directly to the trailing core. So I'll take 6,000 credits. And Dengar will move to the trailing core, and will move with him. Now with 11,000 credits, we have some options. So, I really don't want to deal with the bounty of Jyn Erso right now, not when I'm rolling only 2 dice against 6. So we'll cycle that, and we'll find Information Broker. For 2,000 credits, I can choose a planet that does not have any players on it, reveal all contact tokens on that planet, then I shuffle this card back into the Bounty Market deck. That's actually tempting right now. Yeah, actually, I think we're going to take, yeah, I think we're actually going to take that for 2,000 credits. So we'll zoom out a little bit because we're going to reveal everything on Naboo. So we'll spend 5 in, get 3 and get Yeah, 3 and change. So I'm at 9,000 credits, and I'm going to reveal everything on Naboo. We'll start with the orange contact token we find. Jyn Erso, that was the bounty I just cycled away. But again, I didn't really want to deal with a 6 dice bounty. Then the green, we find Boshek. And then the white contact token is the Black Sun agent. Okay, so now I know I'm working my way toward Naboo. But anyway, this gets shuffled back in. Then we'll reveal the top card, so we find Bounty for Ahsoka Tano. Oh boy. Elimination credits gain 12,000 credits and 2 fame. There's a capture reward. Deliver her token to Lothal to gain 22,000 credits and 2 fame. And after you gain a reward from this card, lose 1 Rebel reputation and remove this card from the game. But more importantly, the Rebel Patrol moves 4 spaces toward me. And we'll see that when we move over to Lando. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on my planet, except I don't have one, I get to reveal any contact token. So I will reveal... I'll actually reveal the orange contact on Takodana. So here we find Boba Fett. That could be interesting, but anyway, getting a little bit ahead of myself there. That could be a tempting encounter. But anyway, speaking of encounters, I will encounter the core worlds. I'll encounter, here we go. So I just want to encounter the core worlds. I don't necessarily want to cross the core again. Core worlds. This is a secret. Okay, so, secret. Bring us this rebel sympathizer to prove your loyalty, the ISB agent says. As an encounter, discard this card to fight a combat against a player in your space who has plus rebel reputation. If you win, gain a fame and an imperial reputation. Ooh, that could actually be tempting. So I'll just leave that as a flipped up card for the time being, because again, I'm playing a solo game. But anyway, moving back over to Lando, we'll flip over another AI card and we find alright, so moving toward current goal, which is obviously right here at the Spinward core. If at a cargo destination, deliver it. So he will deliver the Heart of Shaxx to gain 5,000 credits. Then he's going to buy a job and put a gold token on the current destination. So he's buying Rescue from the Mines. He's buying Kessel. Alright, that's his first job. And then we'll find out what patrol is moving, what job we get next and what patrol is moving toward him. We find no patrol moving, but we have hired help. So before you perform a skill test, you may gain a skill test of your choice for that test. If you pass the test, discard this crew for 1,000 credits. Okay, so I should probably explain how skill tests work. So as I mentioned earlier, the dice have 4 different faces. The blank does nothing. The eyeball is a success if you have a skill more than once. So for example, not a really good example right now, but say I were to have strength twice. That would be enough, that eyeball would be enough to give me a success. If I have a skill once, that's the normal success. That's what I would need to roll. And then I would need the critical success, which was the sunburst, which I couldn't... Here it is. The open sunburst. So if I don't have a skill, like if I were to try to test tactics, for example, right now, I would need to get that. Come on. I would need to get that for a skill test to be a success. So that's how the dice work there. But anyway, coming back to the AI turn. Gold tokens on Kessel. Not matching a patrol reputation. Can spend 8,000 credits to gain a fame. That will clean them out. But that will be the Automa's first fame point of the game. Actually, the first fame point of the game going out, period. So the AI is a tenth of the way home. But anyway, that will do it for round 4. And to round 5, and let's move over to the other side of the board for Dengar's turn. So right now we have a very interesting tactical decision to make. So do we go to... Question is, I think we have to start working our way toward Naboo to go for the Black Sun agent ultimately. And then our destination with him was Ryloth. So actually we're not too far. Actually he's on Naboo, which is not too far from Ryloth. So with a ship speed of 6, Dengar can get 1, 2, 5. Actually, he can get to Naboo this turn, and I think I will. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's not going to be stopped by patrols at all. Looking at the market, how do I want to do this? If I buy that plastoid armor now, which is very tempting to do, I will make those credits back. Because that'll cut him down to rolling 1 die, which is a very tempting idea. Yeah, which I think I will do that. So, I'll spend 8,000 credits to gain the plastoid armor. So as a recollection, gain plus 2 HP essentially. During ground combat, if you have strength, your opponent rolls 1 fewer die, limit 1 armor per character. Plus, I don't mind this because Lando is also moving toward me anyway. And now we'll find a fresh piece of gear, we find. Targeting computer for 2,000 credits. Once per ship combat, you may reroll any number of your blank dice. And the Rebel Patrol moves 3 spaces toward me. So, 1, 2, 3 to Mon Calamari. Okay, so that was my market phase. I don't have anything for the action phase, so I'm just going to move right in. No, I think we're going to sit on that for the time being. But anyway, now we're going to encounter the Black Sun agent, but we're going to encounter him as a bounty. So, we need the dice tower back in shot, which it'll lay a little better than it did when I did the earlier. So I'm rolling 3 dice against his 1 because now I have the plastoid armor. Alright, that's 2 dice, which he could roll on... He could roll that on 1 die. Let's find out if he does, though. I was going to say, if he rolled anything more than... If I rolled anything... Well, actually, there's no way I can lose this encounter anyway, because I already have... Because ties always go to the attacker, and I'm the attacker, so... So that's a 1, which means thanks to Dengar's special ability, I suffer 2 fewer damage, and he suffers 1 more. So... We'll get that dice tower. We'll get the dice tower out of shot. And now the question becomes: so I'm going to claim the Black Sun agent as a bounty, and unless the Imperial, I don't think the Imperial Patrol can move in my way enough to stop me from delivering the Black Sun agent to Ryloth. But actually, I take that back. There is a way they can move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, actually, they can move in a way to stop me. They can, if they're moved by Lando, they can move in a way to stop me from getting to Ryloth next turn. We'll just have to hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, speaking of Lando, let's move over to him and see what the AI is doing. One advantage that we have when we're playing with the Core Worlds is the AI will not cross the other worlds. And we find the special Lando Calrissian card. So do the first that applies, moving toward his nearest goal. He'll move 6 to Kessel. So I think we'll have to... we should be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Okay, here's a situation where 6 would put him at a nav point, but 5 would let him stop on a planet. So he's going to stop at Lothal. Then do all that apply. If at a cargo destination, deliver it, which he's not. Roll a die. If the result is... And it's based on the results. So the only one that doesn't have anything happen for us is a blank. So we'll bring the dice tower back into shot. Okay, looking at the eyeball, he'll gain 1 reputation with the planet's faction if it has a reputation, and it does. It's actually with the Imperials. So he'll go up with the Imperials. And then he doesn't do anything on the encounter step because he's not on a negative patrol, he's not at a job destination, and he doesn't have the credits to spend to gain a fame. But as a special, he'll discard the top card of the Bounty Hunter, of the Bounty and Expensive Stuff deck. So Ahsoka's going away, which I don't really mind all that much. Then we'll find Han Solo. Ooh. As an elimination reward, gain 11,000 credits and 2 fame. As a capture reward, deliver him to Tatooine to get 20,000 credits, 2 fame, and a Hutt reputation. Alright. And discard the top of the Expensive Stuff deck, so we'll discard that as well, and we'll find Crew Dash Rendar for 10,000 credits. When you deliver illegal cargo, you may reduce the cargo's credit reward to 0 to gain 1 additional fame. That could be something to keep an eye on, but anyway. Then we shuffle this back into the AI deck. Give that a quick shuffle. Now, I had a bit of a problem with sleeving this game, because I started sleeving this in the Fantasy Flight branded sleeves, but then they stopped making those sleeves, so I ended up having to sleeve in different size sleeves, and I think I just cut it right back to the top. So I'm going to try to make sure I draw that card. I'm going to try to mix it up a little bit so I get a little bit more variety out of the AI deck. Because when I played a practice game of this a couple weeks back, just to get a feel for the new Automa just get a feel for the new Automa cards, that card came up like 3 times in a row for me, and Lando just completely ran away with the game. So I'm going to try to house rule away from that. But anyway, that will do it for round 5. We're into round 6 now, and Dengar has got a very simple plan this round. Fortunately, Lando's turn did not cause any problems with the market deck, so the Imperial Patrol stayed put, and that was the patrol I was worried about. Dengar can actually move straight to Ryloth. That's his planning step. During the action step, he'll deliver the Black Sun agent to get 10,000 credits and his first fame points. Now we're knotted up at 1 fame apiece. Which means I can discard that bounty and remove this card from the game. I'm going to make token cups over here, just so I can sort the contact tokens into them as I no longer need them. Okay. Now that we've got that figured out, now I really want to start looking for a good weapon so I can go bounty hunting. So to that end, we'll start cycling through the mod deck. I'll cycle the targeting computer and find an IQA 11 blaster rifle for 5,000 credits. Gain +1, does not want to focus for me. Gain +1 ground combat. When you win a ground combat, you suffer a maximum of 2 damage. Yes, please. So that's 5,000 credits, which I'll dump the 10 and get a 5 back. And And then we need a new mod deck to determine what patrol is moving where, and we find special order for 2,000 credits. Choose gear or mod out loud. Reveal the reveal cards from the top of the mod market deck until 2 cards of the chosen type are revealed. You may buy one of the revealed cards of the chosen type. Shuffle this card and the unpurchased cards back into the mod market deck, where we get to reveal a contact token on the planet. So I think I will reveal the... I'll reveal the green token on here, and we'll find... IGRM droid. So that might be something we encounter later. We're not going to encounter it this turn, though, because we are going to actually encounter Ryloth. So this time, we can expect either buying ships or selling stuff. So let's see what we find. The key to long-term success is smart investment, the Moon Banker says. For a small sum now, you'll reach your goal of starship ownership in no time. You may spend 1,000 credits to gain the job below. Let's take a look at what that is. You may spend credits on this card when buying a ship. After you buy a ship, discard this card. Action: place 1,000 credits from the supply on this ship. Ooh. So basically, you may spend credits as an action place. Okay, that actually could be really helpful. And yes, I will spend 1,000 credits to get that job. So, yeah, that's just going to help me That's just going to help me get a ship. It might take me a little bit of time to set it up, but I think that'll be very useful. But anyway, now let's move over to Lando, who's still trying to get to Kessel. Let's see what the AI is doing this turn. The AI is moving toward its closest goal. So for 6, 1, 2 waves hello to the rebels and flies on through. 3, 4, 5 can pass through the maelstrom. The AI can, but I can't. 6. Alright, so next up is come on. The action step. If at a cargo destination, deliver it. He doesn't have cargo right now. Come on. You were focusing earlier. What's the problem? Zoom this out just a little bit. There we go. Buy a mod, except he doesn't have any credits, so he's just going to cycle twice. So we're going to cycle the special order away, which I don't mind. We'll cycle that, which I don't mind either, and this is going to stay on top. Skyblade 330 Sweep Bike. During ground combat, you may reroll one of your opponent's dice. If you have piloting or tactics, and we do not, he has piloting, you may reroll 2 of your opponent's dice instead. Patrols don't move because this came up while we were cycling. And then as his encounter, if he's at a job destination, and he is, he'll complete it. So he'll lose 1 syndicate reputation to gain 8,000 credits and a fame. So Lando's up to 2 and I'm up to 1. We're not too far behind yet, but that's the end of round 6. We'll be into round 7 next, and we'll start off with Dengar. Dengar's all tooled up to do some bounty hunting, but our current bounty is a effectively a six die roll because of our plastoid armor. For now, I think we're going to stay put on the planning phase and take 2,000 credits. Then we're going to cycle that bounty deck because trying to deal with a 7-die bounty does not sound like fun right now, even though I would be rolling only down 2 and I can take some abuse. So we're cycling Han first, and we'll find Maz Kanata. That's actually got us rolling even dice right now, and that's a yellow. So yeah, I think we'll pick up Maz Kanata as a bounty. And then this one will trigger movement, so we'll find the HUD Patrol moving 3 spaces toward me, and I get to reveal a contact on my planet. So, and we'll take a quick look at Chopper. Elimination reward gives 9,000 credits and 1 fame. Capture reward would deliver Chopper to Spinward Core and gain 11,000 credits and 2 fame. And he's only rolling 4 dice, which that would be another one where... Actually, we'd be rolling up 1 against him. So I will pay... So I have to move the HUD Patrol 4 spaces toward me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now fighting that patrol is an option, but I get to reveal a contact on a planet for free. I'm going to reveal the yellow contact. The yellow contact on here is K2SO. Okay. Then I'm going to take 1,000 credits from the pool and just dump it on the ship investment fund. Then I'm going to spend 1,000 credits of mine to look at a contact token on another planet, or on any planet. Do I start hunting for yellows to find Maz Kanata? Or do I hunt oranges if I think... let's hunt yellows, looking for Maz Kanata. So I'm going to reveal the yellow on let's reveal the yellow on Tatooine. We're going to start moving out. So we find on Tatooine... Hera Syndulla. Like I said, rules as written, I think you're supposed to secretly look with Garandon, but... Yeah. The rules as written, I think you're supposed to just look and flip it back down, and if you're playing multiplayer, you would. Since I'm playing a solo game, however, I don't do that. So, I'm just going to reveal it. So, I'm going to encounter the orange contact token on the planet, so let's find out who this is. We find... Ketsu Onyo, so that'll be card 33 in the Codex. Okay, here we go. Alright, if you have... Rumor has it that she's working for Black Sun, but for the right price she might work for you instead. If you have positive or neutral syndicate reputation, which we do not, yada yada yada. If you have negative syndicate reputation, which we do, fight a ground combat against Ketsu Onyo with a ground combat strength of 5. If you win, prevent 2 damage from that combat, except I'll be preventing 3 because I'm Dengar. But anyway, so we are rolling 4 dice. So we're actually rolling even. This will be kind of a practice run for what happens when we finally find Maz Kanata. So we'll bring the dice tower into shot. 4 dice for me. Two successes. 2 hits, and I remember I roll... Ketsu will roll 1 fewer die because of my plastoid armor. So what's effectively a 5 is now a 4. 0. So I actually win the combat. And I don't get anything for the combat. So I'll just leave the card there, indicating that Ketsu is there on the planet. Anyway, that will do it for Dengar. Lando's in shot. He's also not moving anywhere, though, because he doesn't currently have a goal. Most likely, but let's find out. Alright, if defeated, which he's not. He also doesn't have a current goal, so he just gains 2,000 credits. Which will bring him up to 10,000 credits. During the action step, he's not at a cargo destination, so that's not relevant. His cargo slots are not full, so he buys cargo for 1,000 credits. He'll buy the unrefined coaxium. Once again, he's got to take this to Mon Calamari, which will not be far for him at all. Then he gains 5,000 credits and rotates it. Put a gold token on Mon Calamari. And then this card will trigger patrol movement, we find. Never mind. 2,000 credits. Place this card in a cargo or mod slot. You can also have one cargo in this slot. When you're rolling a die to deliver illegal cargo, you may turn a blank result to a success. I might be grabbing that next, but anyway. Then coming back to the AI turn. For the encounter step, do the first that applies. Not in a space with a patrol, not at a job destination. Spend 8,000 credits to gain a fame. So 5, 6, 7, 8. And Lando's up to 3 fame to my 1. So we need to find Maz Kanata, and we need to find her in a hurry. But anyway, that will do it for round 6. Round 7 next, and Dengar needs to get moving. So let's get into round 7. Now I think we're starting to see the problem with a character that's very focused on bounties. Because if you don't find the right bounty, you can end up spending a long time trying to chase them down. But anyway, a ship speed of 6 will bring Dengar 1, 2, 3, 4 to Nalhutta, where there is another yellow token there. I'll sink another 1,000 credits into my ship investment. Then I'll use Garandon again to look at a contact on Takodana. We'll look at the yellow contact here we find. Maz Kanata, so I've got to double back to Takodana. Okay. Alright, and then coming back to the market. Alright, I think I'm going to cycle... Actually, I think I'm going to buy the Smuggling Compartment for 2,000 credits. So once again, I'll place that in my cargo slot, which means I can have a cargo there. When I'm rolling a die to deliver illegal cargo, I may turn a blank result into a hit. So that'll go on my cargo slot. And then replacing the cargo deck. There's a Corellia passenger who's trying to get to the trailing core. Gain 6,000 credits, you may move directly to the Spinward core, but we get to reveal a contact on the planet. So I'll reveal the orange contact, because I might... Well, if I can potentially find Chopper, that might be a quick bounty for me. It's Han, we cycled him earlier. Anyway, I'll encounter Nalhutta. Okay, we can potentially gain... We can potentially gain credits or bounties from encounters on Nalhutta, so we find... Your contact leans closer and lowers his voice. Listen, I don't speak for the guild on this one. This bounty is completely off the books. You may spend 1,000 credits to buy the top card of the bounty market deck. If you gain a bounty, place that card below your character card instead of in a bounty slot. And I think I will buy that because I need to get moving on some of these bounties. So I'll spend 1,000 credits to gain the Chopper bounty, which goes below the character card. And I'm actually rolling up 1 on Chopper, which is not a terrible thing. And then since I bought this will trigger patrol movement as well, we find the Imperial Patrol moving 4 spaces toward us. So the Imperials are here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's actually not completely terrible. I'm hoping I can get one of those patrols to move off, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. Lando's turn. We'll see what he's doing we'll see what he's doing. Alright, first that applies is moving toward his closest goal, which is Mon Calamari. 3, 4. Slightly off shot, so we'll adjust the camera. We see he's on Mon Calamari. And coming back here for the action step. Come on. Doing all that apply. He's at a cargo destination, so he'll deliver it to get 5,000 credits and rotate instead of discarding it. So when he rotates this card, he gains the Coaxium Crystal, which requires him to head to Takodana, gain 12,000 credits. So that actually works out for me because because he'll be heading right for me. Gold Crystal is on Takodana, where Boba Fett is. And then for his encounter step, first that applies, except none of them will, because the only patrol he's with has positive rebel reputation. He's not at a job destination, and he doesn't have the credits to spend to gain a fame. Discard the top card of the... As a special, discard the top card of the bounty and expensive stuff decks. Oh, that hurts. But I was probably going to turn on Garandon after I got Maz Kanata done, but anyway. So first up we find Wanton, and I can fight either one. You see a familiar name on the bounty board. It seems that they have crossed paths with the wrong people. A destination is a space containing another player that has at least 1 negative reputation. Encounter, resolve a combat of your choice against that player. If you win, claim that reward. Or claim this reward. If you want to combat against a player who has more fame than you, gain 5,000 credits and 2 fame. Otherwise, gain 5,000 credits and 1 fame, then discard this card. So that would actually be a possible bounty option for Lando. And then the expensive stuff deck, Dash Rendar gets discarded, and we find Proton Torpedoes for 15,000 credits. Gain +1 ship combat. When you win a combat against a patrol that has a fame reward, gain 1 additional fame. Ooh, that might be tempting, but not for 15,000 credits right now. I was hoping to get one of those patrols out of my way, but I can probably deal with it as I start setting up my turn. But anyway, then that shuffles back into the deck. So I think once we get down to 2 cards left, once we get down to the 2 shuffle effect cards left in the deck, we're going to just shuffle the entire deck back together to somewhat mix things up. But anyway, that's all set up. So now we're into round 8, and Dengar now has somewhat of a plan. I know I said I was going to play to 10 fame, but I think I forgot how long this game can run. So I'm going to make an executive decision here and only play to 6 once again, just for the sake of the video. But anyway, so looking at my bounties right now, I've definitely got options. So I'm going to move up to Tatooine, actually. Now that I know where Maz Kanata is, my goal is to wait to get these patrols out of the way, because from Tatooine I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll be working my way over to Takodana, and then I've got to get her back to Naboo, which is not that long a ride, so I'm not worried about that. But anyway, looking at the market, I'm actually going to buy the Corellia Passenger because my bounty for Chopper, assuming I'm going to deliver him, requires me to get to the Spinward Core. So because of my Smuggling Compartment, I can actually put that up in the Smuggling Compartment. And then the mod, and the cargo here that triggers patrol movement. Stolen supplies. Illegal, I can't buy it on Kessel. To deliver, I roll a die. On a hit, to deliver this, otherwise resolve card 1, probably for Syndicate favor. Destination is Kessel. Reward is gain 7,000 credits and 1 fame, but the Syndicate patrol moves 3 spaces toward me, which could be dangerous because the Syndicate is because I'm at negative reputation with the Syndicate. So 1, 2, 3, which is off shot. Then I'll invest 1,000 credits into buying a new ship. And I'll spend 1,000 credits to reveal the orange contact here on Tatooine, so I can try to figure out encounters I find. Bosk. Okay, so that's definitely not who I'm after. But anyway, I do have options, though. I could... Like I said, Lando is coming this way, so I could potentially stop off and fight him somewhere along the way, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. Anyway, so I will encounter Tatooine. Go. Tatooine can let me fight players or find contacts. I doubt I'll be fighting any players since Lando's on Mon Calamari. Okay, we've got another secret here. You've been hired to send a message to one of Jabba's associates. Encounter, discard this card to fight a combat against a player in your space. If you win, gain 3,000 credits and 1 Hutt reputation. If they had negative Hutt reputation, which they do not, you also gain 1 fame. So we're definitely going to be fighting Lando a lot when we can find him. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself there. That'll do it for my round 8. Lando's round 8. We'll see him moving toward his nearest goal, which right now is Takodana, but he's got to cross the board to do that. So 6... Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do think he moves back if moving back 2 space. If moving 2 fewer lets him stop on a planet. I think it's 3 further that doesn't stop him. It's either the 2 spaces they moved through before at that point is a planet, they stop on the planet instead. Okay, so Lando will stop on the planet. Let's see, then let me look at this again. So Lando stops on Kessel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just figuring out my options here because I'm probably going to be attacking Lando to catch up, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. Okay, so he's not at a cargo destination. He buys a job and places a goal on the nearest token. Okay, so we'll cycle the hired help, and he'll find Relic of the Past. So destination is right back to Mon Calamari, which means he'll be doubling back there first. Oop. Whoa, that was interesting. So doubling back to Mon Calamari. So this will just happen for him when he gets a job completed. Gain 5,000 credits and a fame, then remove this card from the game. Then this next job is going to trigger patrol movement. I wouldn't mind seeing the Hutts or the Imperials move out of my way here. Because I'm still trying to work my way to Takodana, but it's going to take me a while to get there. The Imperials move out of my way for the Jewel of Yavin. So the Imperials move 3 toward Lando. Actually, never mind. They move right into my way. That was unfortunate. But anyway. Looking at the rest of the card. Nothing for the encounter step happens because they're not at a negative patrol space. They're not at a job destination, and they don't have the 8,000 credits to spend to gain a fame. Okay, so round 9, and my plans kind of got a little bit derailed, but not horribly. We may have to force something a little bit, but anyway, let's move into round 9 with Dengar. If the Imperial Patrol would have moved one more space, I wouldn't have been stuck right now. I probably would have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I wouldn't have gotten to Naboo, but I would have gotten closer. Still, I can move over to Ryloth, where the Hutt Patrol is waiting for me and stops me in place. Everything's full up right now. I've got bounties for days, so I'll just invest in another ship bounty unless I spend my last 1,000 credits trying to find Chopper. We'll look at the Ring of Kafrini. And we find Chopper on the Ring of Kafrini. Perfect. So I'm probably going to have to blast the Hutt Patrol out of the way, so let's go ahead and take a shot at that. So I'm rolling 4 dice to the Hutt Patrol's 3. We'll bring the dice tower back in shot right there. I can move the camera just a slight little bit more. There we go. Okay. Now that we've got that in place. Alright, I get 3 successes, so let's see. Get those out, and we'll see what the Hutt Patrol does. The Hutt Patrol rolls 1 success, so my ship takes... when you win a combat, it doesn't specify whether it's ground or ship, so my ship suffers no damage once again. The Hutt Patrol gets blasted out of the sky, out of space. So I get 5,000 credits for that. The Hutt Patrol gets blasted out of space. But I do go down to negative reputation with the Hutts, so that's something to keep an eye on. And then we get the level 2 Hutt Patrol out, which is similar to the level 2 Syndicate Patrol. Rolls 5 dice, but I gain a fame point if I defeat them. So that's how that will work. Anyway, for Lando's turn... moving toward the closest goal, which right now is Mon Calamari for the job. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we are just off shot, so we'll adjust the camera slightly. If at a cargo destination delivered, they're not. Buy cargo and place a gold token at that cargo's destination, which they already have cargo. If at a job destination, complete it. So gain 5,000 credits and 1 fame. Then remove this from the game. And there was a special effect on here. Where am I putting my... oh, here we go. I know I said somewhere I was putting my remove from the game. Discard the top card of the bounty and expensive stuff deck, then shuffle this back in. So we'll discard wanted. At least Lando's coming back this way again. But we definitely need to get moving on these bounties now. And then we find... Jyn Erso. So I think we're back to cycling the deck again. We're rolling down 1 against Jyn, so after I get done with some of these bounties, that might not be a terrible pickup. But anyway... we'll give that some thought, how I want to do that. Then we cycle that, and we find... Chromium Hull for 20,000 credits. When you gain a fame, gain 1 additional fame. When you lose a ship combat, discard this card. A player on your space can fight a ship combat against you as their encounter. And then we don't worry about any patrol movement because we didn't do that as part of the ship combat, or as part of buying a card. So I'll give this a lousy 4-card shuffle. Alright. And we'll leave it like that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on round 10 now. And now I think things are starting to clear up a little bit where I might be able to catch up, but Lando has really run away with this game. So anyway, let's give this a shot. We need to get fame, and we need to get it in a hurry. Fortunately, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wonder if I go to Naboo first, if I go to Takodana first to try to get Maz Kanata, or do I go... I think I do that, actually, to try to clear the job, or to clear the bounty slot on my character. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and stop on Takodana, which is actually Lando's goal as well right now. But anyway... Okay, so that's that. I don't think there's anything I want to do in the action step. I take that... right now I have both the bounties I'm looking for right now. So... I'm going to leave the decks as is. Jin getting cycled right now would probably be a devastating blow, because I'm planning on having that available to me next turn. But anyway, I'll put another ship, or another 1,000 credits on ship investment. And then we will encounter Maz Kanata on Takodana, but we're going to encounter her as a bounty. So, I'm rolling 4 dice I'm actually rolling even against Maz. So we'll get 4 dice here. We'll bring the dice tower into shot. No, I want that up a little bit further. Here we go. That'll work. Okay. So my roll for Maz Kanata is a ground combat. That's 2 successes. That's a pretty crappy result. And I'd be rolling normally down 1, but I'm rolling even because I have the plastoid armor. So I have strength, my opponent rolls 1 fewer die. So this is an even roll. I have 2 successes, and Maz rolls 3. So I actually take 3 damage on that, which is unfortunate, but... So there's my 3 damage going on Dengar. Then we'll get the dice tower out of shot for Lando. Okay, so planning step the first that applies. Move toward the closest goal, which is Takodana. So I've got let's reposition to get Lando in shot. There we go. Now as I look, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Probably moves the lower route. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll stop on Nalhutta because of the planet. Okay, then the action step, not at a cargo to deliver it. Job slots are not full, so we buy one of those. We buy the Jewel of Yavin. Oh boy. Goal of Naboo. Yikes. That could be bad. There's Naboo. And then this will trigger patrol movement toward Lando. The Hutts move 3 spaces toward Lando. See, 1, 2, 3. Moving at the Ring of Kafrini. Let's see here. Then looking at the encounter step. If negative reputation matching a patrol, yada yada yada, they're not. If had a job destination completed, also not. Reveal the face-down contact token of the lowest class on this planet and gain the crew on its card for free. So we find W1LE, card 22. And Lando gets that for free anyway, so yeah. Okay. So there's that. And I think we are actually very much in peril here because the Jewel of Yavin is a free fame and there's enough cards in the AI deck that say spend 8,000 credits to just gain a fame. So we do need to be very careful of that. But anyway, we're into round 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. We're into round 11 now, and Dengar is... I think we're starting to see why bounty hunter-focused characters are so kind of problematic. But anyway, let's go into round 11 and start with Dengar. For the planning step, Dengar is going to recover all of his damage. Let's put that on the other side. Once again, I'm pretty happy with the gear. I might do a little bit of cycling here. I'll spend 1,000 credits on a ship investment. I've got 6,000 credits toward buying a new ship. I'll go ahead and cycle the ships, but I don't think I'm buying anything ultimately. Cycle that, and the modified YT 1300 light freighter. Yeah, not buying that in a million years. Not for 20,000. Cycle that as well. I'll find the Ozyutuk anti-slaver gunship. I might try to pick this up, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. That'll be at least next turn, because we're going to try again to get Maz Kanata as a bounty. So bring the dice tower right back in shot. 4 dice for me. Three successes, that's a little better. And then Maz. Rolls 1, so I take no damage. I do get to capture her as a bounty. So this is probably where my mask. So this is. So now I've got to make I've got a decision to make. I've got a way I can win the game, but it's going to take me 2 turns. Actually, it's going to take me at least 3 turns, probably. And it's going to depend on ground combat. He's at 4 fame. I'm going to need to do a lot of fighting here. If I'm moving toward Naboo anyway... Yeah, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a gamble here. So... my gamble here is I've got bounties for Chopper, and Jin is on top. As long as Jin stays there... Actually, even if Jin goes away, I might be able to make this work. So 2 fame will bring me up to 3. Another fame for Lando to 4. I'm going to gamble that Jin stays on top of the bounty deck 1 more turn. I'm rolling down 1 to try to get her as a bounty. Yeah, I'm going to take a gamble. Since I'm not that far from Naboo where I need to bring Maz Kanata, I'm going to try to deliver Maz. I think I can make this work. But anyway, AI turn for Lando. Moving toward the closest goal, which is actually Naboo, but he's going to stop 1 short. He says, let me get Lando in shot a little bit so you can see what's going on here. So he says, hello to the Imperials, and keeps moving on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He actually gets stopped on a nav point short of Naboo. This might not work. This might not work, actually. But everything skips there through the action step because he's not on a planet. And then on his encounter, reputation matching a patrol, yada yada yada. But a job destination he's not, and gain 4,000 credits. Then he doesn't lose reputation. So we'll trade a 1 in for another 5, and then round 12 may be where my master plan blows completely up in my face, but we'll see. Anyway, I gotta change the battery out first, and then we'll get to Dengar. So I just realized something as I was changing out the battery and kind of looking at the board. If Lando reaches Naboo, there's a very good chance the game just ends here before my master plan can take shape. So I need to slow him down any way I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to bypass Naboo for the time being, and I'm going to end up in the same space as Lando. And I'm going to fight. Then I'm going to skip past my action and market step because I'm on a nav point. Then I'm going to fight an encounter against Lando as my personal goal. So I fight a combat against a player. I am going to actually, in the action phase, since it doesn't specify I have to be on a planet, I'm going to put 1,000 credits on ship investment again. But anyway, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to fight a combat against a player in my space who has 2 or more fame. Lando right now has 4, and since I made the executive decision to only play to 6, we need to stop him right here. So I roll 4 dice to Lando's 2. He would normally roll 1, but he does have the blaster pistol that he got way back in the game. So I'm rolling 4 dice to Lando's 2. So I'll roll my dice first. Okay, that is 5 successes. I am definitely winning this encounter, and I'm defeating Lando, which I really needed to do. So let's see how much damage he potentially does back to me. Remember, I suffer 2 fewer damage, and he suffers 1 more. Not that 1 more matters here. So I reduce this damage. So this damage is -2. 2 minus nothing is still... No, minus this damage -2, so that still reduces to 0. Which means he is very much defeated. So he takes 4 damage. And we'll knock him down short of Naboo. Then I will gain a fame going up to 2. And flipping my card over. So my card flips. So I get an encounter. I choose another player in my space who has at least 1 negative reputation. Ooh. Fight a combat against the chosen player. If you win, gain 5,000 fame, or 5,000 credits. Or if the chosen player has more fame than you, gain 1 fame. Then the chosen player gains 1 reputation of their choice, regardless of the winner. Okay, so I'm up to 2 fame now. Lando. Okay, this is a problem. So he stands up, recovering all of his damage. I'm going to leave that close. Action step gets skipped because it's at a nav point. Spend 8,000 credits to gain a fame. which will bring him up to 5. So we'll get 2 of those back. Then we discard the top of the bounty and the expensive stuff deck, which means, and then this gets shuffled back in, which means Jin is going away. That's a potential problem, but getting ahead of myself, well, it might not be, especially if I spend a couple turns harassing Lando. And we find Zitan Maj. The elimination gains 6,000 credits and 2 fame, or deliver him to the Ring of Kafrini for 16,000 credits and 2 fame. Then discarding the expensive stuff, we find Stolen Jewels for 10,000 credits. Choose another player in your space and discard this card. You both gain 7,000 credits and a fame as an action. Anyway, that will do it for round I want to say 13 now. Round 14, we'll proceed right back to Dengar. Planning step, because I'm looking at the encounter and Lando's negative syndicate, I'm actually going to gain 2,000 credits and stay put. Then I'm going to put another 1 on the ship investment. Let me trade some of those out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for another 5. And then we're going to run last turn back using Dengar's special encounter. So I choose another player in my space with a negative reputation. Lando is still negative syndicate. So we run last turn back. So we roll. So I roll 4 dice to Lando's 2. Once again. Let's see what happens here. That's 1 success. That's going to be a bit of a problem. So now if Lando can get loose, the game might just... Well, the game might potentially end here, but... Okay, so no successes, which means he suffers 1 additional damage, so he suffers 2. I gain another fame, bringing me up to 3. But I think not being able to defeat him again might end the game here. But let's see what happens. Yep. Okay, so he moves toward his closest goal, which he's at Naboo now. If he's at a cargo destination, deliver it, which he's not. Actually, we might be able to pull this out of the fire. We're going to be close. Actually, no. Now that I look at it, encounter step is due the first that applies. So if he's at a job destination, and he is, we complete the job. So we complete the Jewel of Yavin to give him another 15,000 credits. Oh no, never mind. And a fame. That still does it at 6 fame. Never mind. So yeah, the game is over and Lando has won. So let's move back up top to wrap this video up. So I was talking to another coworker at work when I first got this game to the table for the first time. Thanks, Mitchell, for letting me kind of bend your ear on this a little bit. But yes, I think you were right about how a non-bounty hunter has an advantage over bounty hunters, because bounty hunters are chasing their bounties and they have to get somewhat lucky on where their characters are and the distribution. I got somewhat lucky because I was planning. Well, my plan here was to harass Lando. But harass Lando, double back to Naboo, and deliver Maz Kanata when I was ready to win the game. But Lando got loose from me on that last turn, so I wasn't able to pull it off. But anyway, by a score of 6-3, Lando Calrissian has won the game. But anyway, that will do it for this playthrough of Star Wars Outer Rim and Unfinished Business, and that will also do it for my videos in this apartment. By this time next week, I'll be moved, and next week we'll continue the Space Month and debut the new apartment with a game of Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.